Hello, guys. In this election prediction video, we're going to be doing Joe Biden versus John Kasich. John Kasich was a moderate Republican back in the 2016 Republican primary. He used to be the governor of Ohio, and he was a very popular one. And he also just refused to endorse Trump in the 2016 election. So we'll get right into this prediction. I think it'll be an interesting one to see another moderate Republican going up against Joe Biden. And he's a bit different from Youngkin. I don't think he is as anti-union as Youngkin was, so I think that'll help him a bit with populist voters. And he did perform pretty decently in Ohio in the 2016 Republican primary, and just overall, Ohio does tend to like him a lot. So let's get into the first two states. Ohio and Iowa I see just being locks for John Kasich, just because Biden's approval is terrible in Iowa and a bit terrible in Ohio. But Kasich was a very popular governor for the state of Ohio, so I could see him easily pulling off a 10% victory here. Or maybe even could be up to 11%, honestly. Texas. Texas would pretty much back any Republican by a likely margin just because it's Biden on the ballot. While the state of Florida and North Carolina, I'll come back to this ones a bit later. I want to do Virginia first, which I definitely do think will only go to an 8% win margin for Biden. New Mexico, probably about 7 points, I would say. Well, Colorado, I could see John Kasich getting some votes out here, like doing better than Republicans usually do in Colorado, but I still think, just by judging Joe O'Dea's performance in the Colorado Senate race, that moderate Republicans still wouldn't stand a chance at winning Colorado or even bring it down to likely. So I'm going to be putting this as a safe state for Joe Biden. Nevada and Arizona. I think John Kasich could have a bit of an edge in Arizona because he is a moderate Republican, and Arizona really likes their moderate candidates, especially their independent voters. Well, Nevada, I don't see John Kasich having the best appeal among Latino voters, so pretty interesting result because we really tend to see Arizona being more left-wing than Nevada nowadays. But with these two candidates up here, I could see Nevada being more Democratic than Arizona, just based off the types of candidates we have. Nebraska second. Honestly, I could see John Kasich narrowly pulling off a victory here against Joe Biden. He's the right type of moderate Republican that Nebraska second voters like in a candidate. New Hampshire and Maine. Maine, still seeing it going for Biden. This is one of the states that actually like Biden by a decent amount, but Maine second for sure would go to John Kasich. In New Hampshire, I still think Biden would have a bit of a narrow edge here because New Hampshire Republicans might see John Kasich as too establishment for their liking, so that's my reason for Biden winning here against him. In these next few states, Florida, it's a pretty standard Republican state. Joe Biden really has to be running against an extremely weak Republican to be competitive or even win this state. North Carolina as well, I do think with just a moderate candidate, they'll still vote for the Republican. While Georgia, still see them narrowly tilting and voting for Joe Biden here just because of the trends in Georgia. I still think could probably be a Democratic state in 2024 now that I'm looking at it. And the Democrats so far in the polling in the Senate race, I mean, they hold a narrow lead in a neutral year. So I think even against a Republican like John Kasich, I think Biden might have a very narrow edge over him because he just isn't from the South either. So John Kasich wouldn't have a regional advantage like he does in the Rust Belt. So Minnesota, definitely think it'll go down to be about 4.5% of a victory for Joe Biden. While Michigan, I'll do Wisconsin first. I think John Kasich honestly could probably win in Wisconsin against Joe Biden because he would have a bit of a regional advantage in the Rust Belt, while the state of Michigan probably narrowly tilt in favor of Joe Biden just because John Kasich isn't that populist. While the state of Pennsylvania definitely be the swingiest state here, but I think it would narrowly go in favor of Kasich just because Joe Biden's approval rating is pretty low in this state compared to just how well he's doing nationwide. I think Kasich will be able to narrowly edge him out here. So that's my election prediction, was Biden versus Kasich. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.